Ariana, hello.
Madam. Do you follow Madam on Instagram?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. There's like a tarot reader. Did you guys do any fun things for Halloween? You recorded some reactions in costume, I saw.
We did. We did. We recorded reactions costume. We didn't go out or anything. There is like a Halloween parade that happens in the gay neighborhood, like North Halstead, every year.
Oh yeah.
But we went a couple years ago and it was so bad that I was like, I'm never doing this
really?
again. I heard it was better this year, so maybe next year we'll go. But
what do you mean by bad?
It's just people. I don't even know who organizes it or whatever, or like how you get to be in the parade. But it's just people. There's no floats. People just walk in costume down the street, and there's no music, and no one's clapping because no one.
Wait,
like,
what?
It's it was so weird. And it's kind of dark, but there's no light. There's no extra lighting, so it's like it's just like street lamps. It was
There's
the weird.
no
I was
music?
like, no. It was weird. But
okay,
this
well,
was, I think that was the first one out once COVID ended. So I don't know if maybe it was just like.
Okay. I was like, I want to go and see that normal. Now that you've told me about that. Because it just sounds so weird that I want to just be like, what is happening?
And we couldn't like see anything because they're all just walking at street level. And we're all like on the sidewalks at street level. So you can't like see what anyone's costumes
That's why I'm like
I was
if everyone's just walking and there's no music, what is the point?
Yeah.
Are people like, yeah? Like, what do you?
There would be some where you'd be like, oh, look, you can tell that's like Snow White or whatever.
So, yeah.
But now everyone's trying to do these like hyper specific costumes.
Yeah.
Where it'll be like at minute 2:47 of this music video, there's a background character who wears this outfit, and it's like, all right, okay.
I've seen so many things like for in New York, like very specific, like niche costumes. And I was like, yeah, that would be a very like New York, LA. That would be a very New York, LA thing. Sure.
Yeah. Is trick or treating popular in the UK?
Yeah. So I think Michael always says like some people go all out for it. And then like, I guess some people don't. I don't think it was as big when he was a kid.
He was younger, yeah.
But now, like, I mean, we're
more recently.
Yeah, we're in a like a new build neighborhood. So we have like the main streets in the neighborhood. Apparently, there were like hundreds of kids trick or treating in our neighborhood because we're slightly like off, like where we live. We're at the end of a little cul-de-sac where you can't, you'd have to like turn around to get out of the street. Like the street doesn't lead anywhere. So we didn't get as many trick-or-treaters as we would have if we were one of the houses on the like main strip. But that was fine because we had friends over. So we didn't want to be getting up like every 5 minutes, but yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, it was fun. I like seeing the kids' costumes. I like doing the whole like, take a couple, and then they're like, oh, really? We get more than one? One kid said this was the best house yet when they came to our house. And I was like, this is the best house yet, Mom. This is the best house yet. It's like a little tiny Tim.
Yeah. And then he hobbled away on his little crutch.
I don't know if your parents did this when you were little, but like the parents stand at the end of we don't really have like a driveway, but like they stand in the street. They don't come up to the door with the kids.
Yeah.
So you'll open the door and it'll just be like the little tiny children. Like it's so cute.
Yeah. That's what my mom and dad did when I was like little. They would just walk around. They'd walk me from like house to house basically. Yeah. Cause I always would go with other kids. Do you know what I mean? But it's like so funny when you open it and it's just like one tiny child. So hello. Cute. Yeah, there was one that like we have a ring cam now, and so like on the ring cam, it was like you could just see the top of his little mask, like on the screen. It was so cute. Well, great. Well, happy Halloween, witches and wizards. Happy Halloween.
Non-bonds. Yeah, happy Halloween. Halloween is for the gays. Let's be real. This week we read chapter 27. Called The Lightning Struck Tower. Adam, what happens in this chapter?
Severus Snape kills Albus Dumbledore.
Oh, yeah, I was like, might as well get to the point.
Just get it over with. Cry now.
I told you that this was ruined for me before I even got to this part, right? Yeah. Thanks, Justine.
Thanks.
I'll never forget. She was like, I can't believe Dumbledore died. Or no, I think she said, I can't believe Snape killed Dumbledore. Is I think what she said. It was either one or the other. And I was like, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, what's the statute of limitations on spoilers for a book? Because books are like, it's like...
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't... I think people are better, like, for example, I know I always reference this, but like A Court of Thorns and Roses, people typically are good about saying like, spoiler, before they are saying stuff, you know? But some people just don't give a shit. And like, I went on a whole rant a week ago to Adam off pod, where I was like, why is everything spoiled today? Like, I'm just like, why? You know, Agatha all along, thankfully, thank you, Agatha all along watchers. No one spoiled it for me. Yeah. Like, some people know how to respect the show, the experience. And some people just do not. It's
the only thing that was spoiled for me with Agatha all along was that Rio was death. But that was because Funko Pop had released a Rio called Death before the show started. So people had like already known that was a thing.
Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't see that. I didn't know. Yeah. So when when they said she was Death, I was like, oh yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I was like, of course.
She's giving Death. Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza. Obviously. Yeah. If I could have one actress play Death, Aubrey Plaza or like Jenna Ortega. Great.
It's Jenna. It's Aubrey or Jenna.
Yeah. Because Winona Ryder is like too old now.
Yeah.
Sorry, not too old to be clear. I don't mean that in like an ageist way, but just like
she's fucking ancient.
She's fine.
I do like the idea. I think this is like the first thing I've seen where Death is a woman. And I was like,
I had that thought. Then I was like, isn't
it usually personified by a guy? I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but I don't watch a ton of spooky content to be fair. So there might be stuff that is very obvious to other people.
Love it. Great show.
Should I start?
Yeah. I was going to say, let's go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. We've left the cave. Harry has successfully apparated him and Dumbledore to Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
Okay. Dumbledore doesn't look good. He collapses to the ground when they arrive. And he needs Severus. He's like, we have to get to Severus. Because Harry's like, we got to get you to Madame Pomfrey.
Harry is like,
don't take this man Severus. To St. Mungo's. Are you joking? Take him to a doctor, please. Okay. So Dumbledore's like, no, not Madame Pomfrey. I need Severus Snape. Do you think he's banking on Severus knowing the like a potion antidote? Do you think that's why?
Yeah, I think it has to do with like some type of potion that he can make to revive him, to like restore him back to his normal strength.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Yeah. Okay. And then all of a sudden, as they're out on the street in Hogsmeade, Madame Rosmerta comes out of the Three Broomsticks upstairs, which is where she, I'm assuming, lives. And she's like, oh my God, I was just looking out. I was closing my bedroom curtains and I saw you appear. Like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And she's wearing a silk robe with dragons on it, which is very chic.
Oh, yeah.
And Harry's like, no, we just have to get him back to Hogwarts. And she's like, well, you can't go there now. Haven't you seen?
Do you not know what's going on?
And she's like, they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, look at the dark mark. That's how she said it in my head. And then they look at Hogwarts. There is a dark mark floating above the astronomy tower, the highest tower at Hogwarts. And they're like, well, This is bad news.
It's not
seeing
good.
Seeing this, Dumbledore like gets to his feet and is like, this has given him the strength to.
Yeah, he's like, all right, muster my remaining energy.
So she offers her 2 brooms. Harry accios them to them. He throws his cloak on. They take off. They say ta-ta to Madame Rosmerta. And they head off toward the astronomy tower.
Doesn't he asks her to contact the ministry in case no one knows, right? He asked for Madame Rosmerta? Yeah.
Dumbledore asks her to let the ministry know. Yeah, that's right. I don't remember the movie. We're going to be watching the movie in mere weeks, really.
So soon.
But I do not remember how we get from the cave. I remember the cave, and then I remember being in the astronomy tower, but I don't remember what the transition is between the two. So I'm curious to see like if they do this sequence or how they, because I don't think they have a Madame Rosmerta.
No, I don't think they go through Hogsmeade at all, which is weird because like there's this whole thing about not being able to apparate into Hogwarts, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. So they get to the astronomy tower, they touch down. As soon as they're there, Dumbledore tells Harry that he has to go find Snape. And Harry's like, sir, but I need to help you. And he's like, no, this is, again, we're not arguing. When I tell you to do something, you do it.
This is not up for debate.
This is not a conversation. Okay. I am your superior. I am the headmaster of this school. So Harry like goes to the door to head downstairs. I feel like if it were me, if I was Harry, I just would have gotten back on my broom and I would have flown down to like the front door is what I would have done.
Yeah.
Cause you were at the top. You were at the top of the castle. And you would then be like, well, I'm going to go run down.
Yeah, 12, yeah. Like
13, 14 flights of stairs.
A little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get to the dungeons. So Harry goes to the door. He hears someone on the other side. So Dumbledore's like, move away from the door. He steps to the side. The door flings open. Harry hears Expelliarmus, but he is then frozen. And he was like, that's weird because Expelliarmus famously, as Harry knows, and we all know
Harry knows better than anyone.
Better than anybody. Expelliarmus is the disarming spell. It's not the body bind freeze. Mm-hmm. Or it's not a freezing charm. And so he's like, what? And then he notices that Dumbledore is the one who had frozen Harry. He still must have the cloak on.
Yeah, no, he can't be seen because of the cloak.
Yes.
So
I do remember they changed this in the movie because they were like, this won't make sense.
Yeah.
It would be very hard to visually show what was going on.
Yeah.
So he had frozen Harry with his wand, and then that's what Draco, by the way, it's Draco that comes in. Draco had Expelliarmus from Dumbledore. Mm-hmm. So Dumbledore is left alone. He's wandless. He's unprotected.
He's already struggling.
He's weakened from this whatever the fuck he drank earlier.
Yeah.
Shot him a lort. Am I right?
I always think like absinthe.
Yeah. I had absinthe in Paris.
I had absinthe in where was it?
We went to an absinthe bar.
When I went somewhere down south, Tennessee? No, Memphis. Yeah, Memphis. I had absinthe in Memphis.
They say though that current absinthe is not what
it was.
Old absinthe used to be. Yeah. Because it's like that was like unregulated chaos, basically.
Yeah. Did you feel like any different after having it? Do you remember?
No, but I didn't really like the flavor of it because it's like anise flavored, and I don't really like that flavor. It's like licorice. I really like that flavor. Okay. he Expelliarmus. Okay. Now we get into a very long conversation where Dumbledore is clearly trying to delay Draco killing him. I think Dumbledore is...
And the other way around. And Draco is like trying to delay. Yeah.
Yeah. So during this conversation, Draco's like, I'm going to kill you. At one point, Dumbledore is like, Draco, you are no killer. And he's like, how do you even know? How do you even know?
Do you know what this was giving? Do you know what this was giving for me? Dumbledore is literally like diva.
Very much. This scene genuinely is probably some of his best retorts in the whole book series. Like, he's about to die and he's still slinging them out
serving, there. Yeah.
It's
an old
so
queen.
Good. Through and through, honey.
Mm-hmm.
So he tells Draco he's not a killer. Draco is affronted by this. And he's like, I could be. I have to be. Because it's you or me, girl. Yeah, Either you die or I and my family also die.
Yeah.
And then Dumbledore is like, you could, if you were able to do it, you would have done it by now. You probably would have done it before tonight. Then you already fucked up a couple times because you like tried to kill me via like this fucking necklace, a bottle of wine.
Yeah, he's like, you're lucky.
Hurting Katie and Ron.
Yeah, he's like, you're lucky. Like, you haven't actually killed anyone with all this bullshit.
Yeah, and they're just going back. This is a very long conversation. I'll be very honest.
Yeah, no, it's not worth to go into all the details around it.
But Dumbledore's big thing is he wants to know how the Death Eaters got in.
Yeah.
Because he's like, how could this have happened? Obviously, as they were flying to the astronomy tower, he had to like undo a bunch of the enchantments on the like boundary of the castle so that they could even fly in. So like I've made fun of him in this book for the enchantment, for the like security of Hogwarts, but he had done his due diligence this book for the first time in the whole book. Series. Yeah.
Book 6.
So he wants to know how they figured it out. So Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy, reveals that he had learned via Montague's story from last year about being trapped in the Vanishing Cabinet for a couple weeks. Wasn't it like 2 weeks or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember how long he was gone, but it was like a long time.
It was he would have died, to be clear. It was long enough that he would have died from like not eating and drinking. Yeah. He learns that in the story, Montague is like, it's so weird because on one side I could hear Hogwarts and on the other side I could hear Borgin and Burkes. It's so crazy. And so Draco's like, aha,
eureka.
So he spends the entire year, working on his engineering degree and fixing this Vanishing Cabinet.
What do you mean, Adam? How is
I have no idea.
It's like, how are you gonna fix that? By just trying?
I don't even know.
Spells?
Also, Vanishing Cabinet, isn't a Vanishing Cabinet?
You put something in it, close the door.
I want to say like
it's in the other cabinet.
Isn't it a magical? It's a magic trick, right? Oh, it's a disappearing cabinet.
Yeah, like
sorry,
the magician.
I'm talking while I'm researching. It's like a disappearing cabinet is a really classic magic trick, and then it's like you put a thing in a thing, and then you lift the door, and it's gone.
Yeah,
and it's all like mirrors. Yeah. The Vanishing Cabinet seems to be like the same idea, except it's an actual like wardrobe. It's the wardrobe that takes you to Narnia.
Yeah, but Narnia is just another wardrobe in a
Narnia is
shop.
just another wardrobe in an IKEA, in a dark IKEA. Yeah. Okay, so this is how he had fixed it over the course of the year. Now he had a couple times been like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I'm very stressed. Obviously, he's under immense pressure from the Dark Lord himself. So that was when he resorted to other tactics, such as the necklace and the mead. And this is when this is when he is like, but I don't understand how you got Katie Bell to hold the necklace, because to
take it up
how
to
could
the
blah, blah. And then Dumbledore realizes, he puts together, he's like, oh, it was Madame Rosmerta
now. Yeah,
it's so obvious, because isn't there that line that Hermione has earlier in the book when she's like, when Ron or Madame Rosmerta was like ignoring Ron or something like that?
Yeah, she doesn't laugh at Ron's joke. And then when Katie is in the bathroom, Madame Rosmerta is not seen out at the bar. Like when they're in the Three Broomsticks, she's in the bathroom with Katie. Or like we're led to believe she's in the bathroom with Katie because they don't see her. Ron is like trying to find her, but he didn't. Yeah, she doesn't come out.
So Madame Rosmerta, and again, I don't understand how anything works in this book series. Madame Rosmerta seems to be currently under the Imperious Curse for all of the time. I don't know how this works.
Well, this is where I'm like, I guess we don't really ever get clarification on how the Imperious Curse works. Because Draco can't be controlled. Like, he's at the school, so he can't have like eyes on her all day, every day.
That's what I don't. Is the okay? So we are in book 4. We are given the instruction of how the Imperious Curse works, the Avada Kedavra curse works, and Crucio works. Avada Kedavra is clearly like a one-shot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Healing spell, you're done.
Crucio feels like it's like you have to be there presently, kind of doing the spell, pointing your wand, da-da-da. Imperious, is it like you set it and forget it? Like, is it like, oh, once they're Imperious, like you can't, they're always Imperious?
Well, that's
because
the thing.
as I do think Draco Malfoy is a talented student. I don't think he's like stupid or anything. He's obviously no Crabbe Royal. But I don't think he's like a powerful enough wizard to be like, and then for the past year, I've been controlling every aspect of Madame Rosmerta's life.
Old woman's life, yeah.
From like 4 miles away.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's like the thing with Barty Crouch when he was under the Imperious Curse. Obviously, he would be like out and about doing stuff. And Moody, aka his son, wasn't always around him. But yeah, that's why I'm like, what is could Madame Rosmerta tell she was under the Imperious Curse? Do they just not think they are? Is it something like they lose like the memory of what they were doing when they were Imperious? Do you know what I'm saying?
Is it like when who was the house elf that killed the old lady earlier in this book?
Oh God, yeah.
Dottie.
No. It was Hokey.
Hokey. Is that how it works? Like you come to and then you're like, oh, there's just a period of time I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is it like the Imperious Curse is like you basically have planted a thing and then you can tap into it when you need to, but then there's like the level of like they're communicating via these coins that we find out about. So like she on her own volition
knows to tell Malfoy something.
It almost, you know what Imperious reminds me really like? It really reminds me of like hypnotism is really what it reminds me of. It's like telling them to do something when something happens.
Maybe that is what it's supposed to be like.
That's probably it, now that I'm thinking about it. Because like, how would you... otherwise I don't even understand how the spell really works.
Yeah.
But yes, they've been communicating via enchanted coins so that he could give her instructions and she could send him messages. They stole this idea from Harry and Hermione and Dumbledore's army.
Dumbledore's army.
So fucked that one up.
Yeah, God, Harry and Hermione.
Fucking idiot. Yeah. As the conversation progresses, Dumbledore is like, I'm realizing this is all a trap, so I'm assuming the dark mark isn't real. Nobody actually died here tonight. This was all just to lure me to this location. And he's like, oh no, somebody's I definitely walked over a body. So for sure someone's dead downstairs. I just don't know who.
No.
I don't know. I genuinely do not remember who this is.
I think I remember who it is. It might be Bill Weasley, but he's not dead.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that's correct. Okay. If I'm like making that up or not in my head.
No, that could be right. Because doesn't Bill then have a scar in the next movie?
Yeah, he's like, he kind of got attacked by Fenrir Greyback, but not enough for him to be fully turned. So he's kind of like partially, like they say something about he'll just like his meat like more rare. It's really bizarre. I was like,
sure,
all right, you might as well have just made him a werewolf, but all right, I don't know.
Yeah. So, As Dumbledore and Malfoy are heading toward the end of the conversation, which they don't realize at the time, but this is the end of the conversation. Dumbledore is like, listen, I know you need protection. You can be on our side. We will make sure that you are not killed by Voldemort. We'll take your mother. We'll protect her too. And then your father's in Azkaban, but as soon as he's out, we can protect him as well. Blah, 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 blah. And Draco's like, no, you don't understand. I have to do it. And then right then, some Death Eaters join in. Yeah.
I just want to say there is a moment where like Draco's like, oh my, and I've been doing this and you had no idea. You had no idea I was doing this the whole time. And and Dumbledore's like, no, that's not quite right. I was actually aware of what you were doing.
Yes. Yeah, he like is like, it was actually a strategy to not say, because if I alluded to the fact that I knew what you were doing, you would have been killed by Voldemort. Yeah. So to keep you alive, I didn't say anything.
Safe. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, and girly now I'm going to take you into hiding, girly pop. And now we're going to hide your ass. Yeah. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
So the Death Eaters come in. Now this, I definitely did not remember who came in, because in the movie, it's definitely Bellatrix. And she is not present in this.
Yeah, she is there.
It's like some D-list Death Eater energy.
Yeah, yeah.
Bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah.
There are these two named Amicus and Alecto. Alecto, I believe, is the first girl outside of Bellatrix that we are like given a name for.
To. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are these the Caros? These aren't the Caros, are they?
Yeah.
They are? Okay.
The Caros, yeah.
They don't say Caro in this chapter.
No,
but
yeah.
Okay. So Amicus and Alecto come in, and Dumbledore immediately is like, oh, great. You two.
Like, hi.
Clearly, like, knows, because obviously, like, everyone went to Hogwarts while Dumbledore was there. So he's like, oh my God, not you two. There's something about it that's so funny. The man is like
dumber,
dying against the wall, and he still has time to be like, oh Christ.
Yeah.
It's just so funny. So then Dumbledore makes it. Dumbledore says, what does he even say? Hold on. I'm so sorry that I have to open it up because
no, it's okay.
I didn't write down the line. But they're immediately like annoyed by Dumbledore because he is being annoying, to be honest. Ha 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 ha. He says, good evening, Amicus, said Dumbledore calmly, as though welcoming the man to a tea party. And you've brought Alecto, too. Charming.
Charming.
The woman gave an angry little titter. Think your little jokes will help you on your deathbed then, she jeered. Jokes? No, these are manners, replied Dumbledore. Which is so funny.
These are manners.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, he is for sure about to die. Yeah. Like, he knows he's about to die, and he's still like, I gotta get one in.
Yeah.
Fenrir joins the fucking party. This piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's and like Malfoy, gross. Ugh.
Malfoy makes it very clear how he feels about that.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't know you would bring Dumbledore says to Malfoy, I didn't know you would bring Fenrir Grey back.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm surprised.
He wasn't invited. To be clear, I did not extend an invitation to him.
He's like, do not Fenrir get that
has
twisted.
This whole bit where he's like, I love children.
I know.
I just can't help myself. Okay.
Yeah, it was icky.
So gross. So they're all hungry for Draco to do it. Draco still is like hesitating because he's a really good guy at heart. He's okay.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he may have imperioused Madame Rosmerta, but really, how can you blame him? So then they hear some more commotion. Severus Snape bursts into the room.
Yeah.
And immediately, Dumbledore is heard pleading with Severus. He says, Severus, please.
Yeah.
Snape looks on him with disgust in his face.
Hatred.
And kills him. Shots Avada Kedavra. Dumbledore's body tips over the side of the tower off the battlements. And that's the end of the chapter. Harry screams, but it can't be heard.
Yeah.
So
that's where it ends.
That's where the chapter ends. That's it. That's the chapter.
It's so weird. It's the first chapter we've gotten to the end of where we're both just kind of like.
The first time I read this, I think I've said this on the pod before. The first time I read this, I started sobbing so hard I had to go down to the basement and like this is where my Leslie's bedroom was, and be like, "Oh my god!" And she was like, "Okay, it's a book."
Such a Leslie reaction. Yep. I'll never know. I'll never know what my actual reaction would have been. I'll never know.
Gagged. You would have been gagged.
I was definitely sad. I remember even when I got to this part, knowing it was going to happen at some point, like I was definitely really upset.
Yeah, it's a bummer that she told you that Severus did it. Because if she had just said, I can't believe Dumbledore died, you could have been like, oh, I don't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah, she might have. I wish I could remember. I kind of hope that too. Yeah, if she just said, I can't believe Dumbledore died or something like that. Maybe that was all it was. Because I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy.
I bet she said, I can't believe Severus killed Dumbledore after the trap that was set by Draco when they came back from the cave where they nearly got killed by the Inferi. I think that was probably her full sentence.
Yeah, I can't remember what I thought when I read it. If I was like, oh, well, Snape is a bad guy. Then I can't remember.
Well, you'd be right.
Yeah, I wasn't wrong if I did think
as we've made very clear on this podcast.
Well, that wraps up this chapter. Next week we'll be reading chapter 28, Flight of the Prince.
Who could it be?
The Prince.
Is it Ruth Prince or whatever her name was? What's her name?
Oh, I can't remember.
Josie Prince?
It was not Josie.
Severus's mom's name is Josie.
What was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Was it like
I can't remember at all. I bet it's
Emmeline? No, Emmeline Vance. Emmeline something.
Was it your chapter or my chapter? This is the question.
Who knows? While you're looking, I'll read this comment though.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Francis Gerber. I think Gerber. Gerber or Gerber? Gerber.
Gerber.
Great. Gerber?
Gerber.
Okay. Gerber. Like Gerber baby.
Mm-hmm.
Great episode as always. Something hit me about the ring. Do we know how the stone from the ring ended up in the snitch Dumbledore left Harry in his will? Snape? I can't remember if this is ever explained. My ex-friend spoiled the death at the end of this book for me. My ex-friend? Are you ex-friends because this was spoiled for you, Francis? My ex-friend spoiled the death at the end of this book for me. So with the final book, I was determined to read it as fast as possible before anyone could spoil it. And I lost it at the airport in the bathroom midway through. I know what Adam means with rushing to get to the end of the plot. Yeah, that is so real when something has been spoiled for you with like any other book moving forward. You are so like serious about not letting that book be spoiled.
Eileen.
I knew it was like an E name. Thank you for your comments. We love hearing what you guys think. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts, as well as video versions on the Ampliverse YouTube channel and Spotify. As always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so we can get a perfect Newt score. 5 stars only, or else you'll have to be shaded by Dumbledore. He'll have to give you a lesson in what manners really look like.
You know what? I like that you didn't go for the obvious. You'll be killed at the top of the astronomy tower by Severus Snape.
No. We gotta give Dumbledore one last little shout out. You know.
Yeah.
For being an old queen till the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HPAnxious or YouTube and TikTok at The Ampliverse. We are hosted on Spotify for podcasters, so thank you to them and are a proud member of The Ampliverse. Check them out at theampliverse.com.
Oh, which one's this?
This is Gigi. They're scared right now they're a little scared right now because of the fireworks. This is Gigi. And this is Kiki. Oh, Kiki looks so scared right now. This Kiki. Put you guys back together.
And this is Adam.
Where's Friedrich? And this is Friedrich.
He's in the other room.
Yeah, good girl. Okay, they're a little bit more. They're getting a little bit bolder now that there haven't been a couple fireworks for a few minutes. Oh no, just going under the desk. Just kidding. And as always, Kiki Gigi. Kiki Gigi.